Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Fanatics. Well, so much content dropped this weekend at Comic-Con in San Diego. We've got a lot to talk about, and today we're talking about the sneak peek scene for our next episode of Star Trek Strange New World, which is entitled Under the Cloak of War, where we see a Klingon ambassador come on board the Enterprise. And we've also got a trailer to have a look at for episode 9 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is entitled Subspace Rhapsody. This is going to be a pretty out there episode because it is a musical episode. And there have been musical episodes of so many different TV shows over the years. There's obviously the most probably well-known one is the Buffy musical episode. There have been musical episodes of The Flash, Scrubs, Xena, the Warrior Princess, Fringe. Normally there's a kind of a fantasy element. I think obviously because with Buffy and The Flash, there was sort of, those shows had a supernatural or a fantasy element, and there's normally some magic involved in the context of Xena or some sort of metahuman that had sort of special powers that made everybody burst into song. On The Flash, mystical being on Buffy that made the whole town break into song. So I'm guessing in this episode of Strange New Worlds, they're going to be passing through some sort of weird spatial anomaly or whatever that sends out a shockwave that suddenly has everybody breaking into song. Kind of a similar context, I'm guessing. So this episode of Strange New Worlds will, be interesting to see whether it kind of stacks up to these other musical episodes of other shows that have come before it. Because let's face it, musical episodes can either be really, really good or really, really cringe and really, really cheesy. And I think that kind of plays a lot into what the quality of the songs are like and also the singing ability of the actors who are doing the musical numbers. There's a lot of people out there who are a little bit skeptical of this musical episode concept. So it'll be interesting to see whether that is up to par or not. But first, let's take a look at the sneak peek scene for next week's episode, or I should say this week's episode, because we got that extra episode thrown in there just yesterday for Strange New Worlds, of course, the Lower Decks crossover episode. So this week we've got 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds to watch. Having already done my review for the Lower Decks crossover. If you haven't seen that, click up here. You can check that out. But yeah, let's have a look at the sneak peek scene for episode 8 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, entitled Under the Cloak of War.
The summit of Scorpy-10, the Klingon Free Trade Agreement, negotiating the Perez Accords.
Sure, he's done some stuff.
He's an effective voice in spreading Starfleet's message for unity. A former enemy speaking on our behalf? It's incredible.
Or it's a long con to gain access to Federation secrets.
Just because he's Klingon.
Trust me, I know Klingons. This guy with the peace treaties, that's not Klingons.
They've done quite a bit this season to kind of introduce the fact that Ortegas is a war hero in terms of what she did during the whole Klingon war that kind of played out during season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. That's a period we don't want to go back to and think about season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, because we just want to forget the Klingons in Star Trek Discovery season 1. That was not a good creative choice. Even though that wasn't a good creative choice, they're obviously still trying to incorporate a bit of history, a bit of what happened during that year with the conflict with the Klingons during that period, and obviously that Starfleet officers like Ortegas are quite affected by their exploits during that time of conflict.
So you don't trust Ambassador Ra because he believes in peace?
That's not what haha. The slaughter at Lambada 5. The siege at Starbase Zeta. Athos.
I didn't mean to hit a nerve.
It's okay. You're right. I don't really know what he's about. All I know is the stories, like that he killed his own men to cover his retreat.
It seems like Ortegas has got a lot of PTSD left over from her exploits during the war. Uhura is kind of very pro-peace, give him a chance. He seems like he wants to do the right thing, but there've obviously been a lot of bad experiences on Ortegas' behalf, dealing with Klingons in the past, and they're kind of colouring her opinion and judgment towards Klingons in the present.
There's a reason other Klingons call him the Butcher of Jagal.
Captain on the bridge?
Gee, he's a lot more smiley than than most Klingons. Coming in there with his Jedi kind of robes and walking stick, he kind of seems more like a Klingon Yoda than some sort of Klingon warrior. A definite more peaceful vibe than most Klingons tend to do. Okay, we've now got the trailer to have a look at for episode 9, which will be our next week's episode, which will be the musical episode. So let's take a look at the trailer for that, and see what sort of songs and dances we've got in store for us for our episode 9 of the season, Subspace Rhapsody. Let's check it out.
Celebrate with song.
So in some contexts, I think musical episodes can work really, really well. I'm going, yeah, this is fantastic. Great songs, great musical numbers, great choreography and everything fantastic. Or it can go the other way and go, oh no, this is just wrong. This is just cringe. So hopefully it fits into the former category and not the latter category in that regard.
The odds of all of us being here at this time. It's improbable. And yet, here we are.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this musical episode plays for certain characters. I obviously think, looking at, say, Uhura, for example, I think she looks like Celia Rose Gooding can probably hold a note. She can probably sing in pitch and do a really good job. Because I think there was a musical component to that episode in season 1 where she had to kind of decipher something and sing some musical notes and whatever. And you can go, oh yeah, she can hold a tune. So I think it's going to work really nicely for characters like her. But I'm just really worried that seeing Pike dancing around the bridge, singing. I'm not sure. I don't know what Anson Mount's musical qualities are like. I have certainly never seen him do anything remotely like this before. Is it going to undermine the character, or is it going to be something we look at and go, oh yeah, this is great? Or are we going to look at it and go, ooh, that's a bit cringy, I don't know. Fingers crossed for that, yes. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci Fanatics yet, be sure to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. If you haven't checked out my merch store, be sure to do that as well. Heaps of t-shirts, hoodies, mugs and caps and stickers and all kind of paraphernalia. They're Star Trek and sci-fi themed at very good prices. Always a sale going on, so be sure to check that out and help support the channel. I'll be back very soon with my next video. I'll catch you guys soon.